What's up, everyone? It's me, Casey. I haven't done one of these in a very, very long time. To be honest with you, I can't really tell you why. Probably because I suck at setting and following goals a lot, but really, I just kind of like sometimes spread myself really thin and don't really commit to an idea or, follow through with the things that I've kind of like set out to do sometimes. And so this year, when I started, I set up a goal to do 10 YouTube videos for myself, ranging between 2 and 5 minutes. And so I figured, why not? This is a great time to just kind of get going again, to create a couple of videos. Doesn't really matter if they're the greatest videos in the world. I just have to get started, right? Like, the first things that you do of everything aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be excellent. They're going to be rough. But I guess as long as I'm doing them, like, I'm going to get better at them, which is my hope and my goal. So yeah, just like I said, I'm Casey. If you're here, you might know me. If you're here, you might not also know me, which is kind of the joy of getting out and getting on the internet. So a little bit about me. I'm Utah. I enjoy, the classic Utah things, the outdoors. In essence of that, I grew up on a farm, and so I have an extended love of the outdoors and kind of a little bit of too much love for the outdoors, some might say. I also love to cook. Cooking is one of my favorite things to do, and it makes me a world-class house husband, but also just very interested in food all around, which I think is a ton of fun, which leads to my other habit, which is eating food. I don't know if habit's a good word for it, or my other hobby, which is eating food. I love to go out and, sample, test out, and eat at local restaurants. One of my favorite ones, sadly, has closed down right now, hard times due to, the pandemic, everything is going on outside. And we're going to talk to those guys probably in the next couple weeks. But I just wanted to mention that I love food. I love eating local food. So if you know places in Utah that are local, delicious, and wonderful, let me know, because I want to go there. And then the other thing that I really love to do is to get to know people, to be honest with you. It's not really something that's extraordinary or, that makes me incredibly unique, but I really just am so curious, and I love to talk to people. I love to ask them about what they do, why they do it, how they learn how to do it. When we've had people coming to our house and like fixing things, I've asked a lot of questions, not because I'm annoying, which is probably the way it comes off a lot of times, but just because I like to understand and I like to see what people are doing and how they do it, because it's fascinating. There's so many things in the world that are just out there. It's cool. It's amazing. And so that's like one of the things I am, is incredibly curious. And then like getting back into this, I haven't done some videos in a long time. I think the last videos I actually produced was in 2018. And those were like 1 to 2 minute videos that I created when we were renting still. So that's been a while. But now I've been doing a podcast for a little over a year with some friends, and I kind of got into learning how to edit and do audio. And then I said, well, now that I've done so much audio, I think we're up to like 70 or 80 episodes on this podcast that I've edited. Why not move over to editing a little bit of video as I go? So now I'm going to do 10 YouTube videos to start out with and see what I learn, how I do it from it. I've tested out and done a little bit. And so my hope is that this will be fun for everyone. Fun for you to watch. Not too painful, but it'll be a good time, I think, all around. Why I wanted to kind of get back onto YouTube was I wanted to be a creator and somebody that people wanted to watch. And when I say that, meaning like I want people to watch my channel, not because I want people to be like, oh, Casey, you're so great, and I want to become wealthy, I want to become an influencer. No, that's not my ambition at all. I want to create a space that is curious and fun and interesting, that people are like, that's something I can learn from. And so I thought I would tell you my 4 favorite YouTube channels and why they're my favorite YouTube channels. The number 1 YouTube channel I'm watching right now is Bald and Bankrupt. It's this British guy who travels around the former Soviet Union, and he just kind of like talks to everyone, and he finds himself in kind of unique scenarios and situations, and it's fun to watch. Like, this guy just travels, and he speaks Russian, and he has Russian friends, and he's just a ton of fun, and it's very informative. And something that I'm curious about is the former Soviet Union and that part of the world that I've been educated and taught probably not to like as much as I could if I had a little bit more of an open mind, open perspective towards it. So Bald and Bankrupt. The next channel I watch the most is Johnny Harris. So he's just a really cool videographer, filmographer, journalist who goes out and he investigates certain things. He's made a number of videos with Fox Media, as far as I know. He's done his own videos, which are very interesting. Like recently he did one about why he hates American breakfast. I can relate so hard on that one because, ugh, sugary stuff is not my favorite thing for breakfast. And I'm right there with you, man. Like, American breakfast food is dessert and sugar and gross. And everyone should have like a savory breakfast. If you haven't, I'll put a link in below so you can watch his video on breakfast because it's fantastic. And I love me a good rice bowl for breakfast with either like fish and salmon and like sometimes I do like bacon or like different types of crisps because of the time I was in the Philippines. Like, it's a lot of fun and I super enjoy it. And then the other one, like I said, I love cooking, and this series that I'm doing, that I'm going to create myself, will have a little bit of cooking. I'm working on an episode on meatballs and hot dogs. They might go in the same episode, I don't know, but they could be fun. And so Joshua Weissman, what he does is he breaks down all sorts of cooking things, and it's incredibly interesting to see kind of how food is made and kind of getting ideas on food, right? Because I love food. Food is delicious, food is great, and making food is awesome. And so Joshua Weissman, I feel like he breaks them down really well. Thank you, Yuli, for recommending Joshua Weissman to me. And Joshua Weissman, thank you for creating delicious, wonderful food, because honestly, I have made a couple of your recipes here at home, and they're pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I want to make more. And then my final favorite, and this is probably the one I've known about the longest, it's a YouTube series called Pasta Grannies. Yes, you heard that, Pasta Grannies. Pasta Grannies is fantastic. It's another British person, and they are traveling Italy, meeting just that, grannies who make pasta. And they're finding and either preserving older recipes because kids haven't went back and learned their recipes and they're not passing them on, or you know, just somebody who has a great recipe for whether it's pasta, whether it's pizza, whether it's, you know, different types of Italian food. It is, thank you, Pasta Grannies, for always making me hungry. Like, so good. So just to reiterate, Pasta Grannies, Joshua Weissman, Johnny Harris, and my favorite right now, Bald and Bankrupt. All those guys, good creators. All those folks, good creators, good stuff that you're seeing and everything like that. So yeah, getting back to my main point, I'm not great at setting goals and sticking to them. Recently, I finally have kind of set a couple of goals and followed through with them. One of them being to study Dutch on Duolingo every day, and I just hit 75 days on Duolingo, which I am pumped about. You know, it's rad sauce. It's tons of fun. I'm not going to give you any Dutch because I probably speak the most poorly pronounced Dutch ever. It is Duolingo after all, and I don't know very many native Dutch speakers here where I can communicate with them and talk to them. But I want to learn Dutch, and so that's kind of my goal, is to get to 100 days of Dutch. I think I am well on my way at 75 days. This is a goal of mine, to do 10 vlogs and to do 10 videos and to kind of get out there and test myself as a way of growing, because in the past I've wanted to learn everything so fast that, you know, I've just little at a time, and I've just went over the surface of everything. And so now I've went through and I've done a bunch. I've done about 7 hours in the Creator Academy, and I'm just continuing to try and do more. And so I figure, well, it's time for me to make my own videos. Actually, I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight on my kind of goals and ambitions. In the Creator Academy, it kind of asks these 3 questions in the very first lesson, and I have to read them because I think they're important. Number 1, how would you like to have an impact? How would I like to have an impact? I would like to create a curious space for people, a space where people are interested in what I'm learning about myself because they're interested in themselves, and I can be one little stair or stepping stone on your journey towards learning something. So that's kind of my goal. Number 2, what do you want to say? The answer right now is a lot of things, but I'm really trying to hone in on what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and what this channel is going to be like. These first episodes of this YouTube channel are going to be defining for me. They're going to make me and help me understand what I want to do, what I want to investigate. Like, do I want to say things more like Bourdain? Do I want to say things like David Chang? Do I just want to be, you know, very bland and bold and, you know, say things very monotone and not do anything and not really change? But that's not really my personality, you know? So I don't know. It's going to be curious to see what we do. And I want to include things about travel, I want to include the information, you know, that I do as I do research. I read Rainn Wilson's book, aka Dwight from The Office, and he jokes about people being Wikipedians. I just want to be the first to say, huge Wikipedia here. I always go to Wikipedia first to get like the watered down, probably leading me a little bit in the wrong direction version, followed by my research in other places, which is a ton of fun. And then, you know, that's kind of what I'm going to figure out is what do I want to say here? And then finally, what knowledge can you share with others? I'm not going to lie to you, I have like 40 books over here full of random information, cooking, business, marketing, goal setting. Like I said, bad at goal setting. A lot of personal development, self-help books on goal setting. Read them all. Haven't learned all the information from all those books, but I have learned pieces enough, like I said, stepping stones along the way. So yeah, that's kind of one of those things. And so just to be super honest with you, no, this channel will not always be just me sitting here in my wife's super comfortable chair. There are probably going to be a few episodes where I'm in here, but this channel is going to also be me interacting with people, me asking people questions, me potentially just riding my bike around where I live, asking people questions and saying, hey, tell me something. You know, I want to do something that is fun for me and engaging for me as well, because if you love what you're creating, you'll probably end up creating more and create it in a more quality way. So hopefully my ability to communicate and talk with others will, you know, be interesting to you, and hopefully my stories I tell will be interesting to you. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to my channel. This is my very first episode kind of back on the game. I want to create, I want to have fun, and once again, my name is Casey, and I hope to see you next time.